Hello. This is Whitney.
And it's your girl Alicia.
And this is the Luxe Podcast.
Join us weekly as we encourage Black women to elevate into luxury.
Yes. Okay, I'm moving my microphone over. Hold on, y'all.
I know.
If you hear something on the line, it's me.
That's so far away.
I know. I was like, dang, why I'm on the wrong side? All right, y'all. Welcome back. Okay, so wine of the week.
Wine of the week. Let's do it.
Alicia, could you hand me? It looks like we have a white today. If you are new here, we start every episode off by sampling a new wine. There is no rhyme or reason to it. We just pick one that looks cute off the shelf and then we try it for y'all. So this is today's wine. This is called 3 Blocks. It's a Pinot Grigio out of California. 3 Blocks. It says great ingredients are the building blocks for great wine. That's why 3 Blocks carefully grows grapes in California's cool climates. Our dedicated winemakers take the time to develop the crisp and zesty character of our Pinot Grigio with notes of juicy tropical fruits, white peach, and sweet orange blossom. Oh, so it's vented and bottled in Howes in Parlier, California. And it's in that 12.5%, so it's got a little kick to it. And it's got a twist top, which we love to see.
We always go with like some kick.
We always get a little punch to it. Always double digits. All right, thank you very much. You want to hand me yours, please?
Sure thing.
All right.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Okay, I'm going to hand this back to you so we can take this out.
Let's get into it.
All right, everybody. Oh, what Doja Cat say? I just got to get into it. Yeah. I wouldn't try. Okay. Let's see. There. First of all, clarity is clear. It looks cute. It smells zesty, like they said. It's got that buttery smell that I feel like all Pinot Grigios have. So let's see. I'm going to open it up. If you can see here. This isn't bad.
Okay.
This is a good Pinot Grigio. Sometimes I think Pinot Grigios are super musky. Like almost like where they make you like, after you, you know, if you can't, okay, if y'all not watching this on YouTube, I kind of like rich, but like they make you like grab your chest, like clutch your pearls a little bit. But this one is smooth. I like this one.
Okay.
But I'm a white wine drinker. I love when you go white, and I really
know.
like this one.
I know you do. And the great thing about it was the bottle was $8.99. At least it was $8.99 at CVS. Is that CVS?
Look at God.
Amen. But I thought the bottle was cute. Like 3 Blocks was really cute with the gold top. You know, gold's my favorite color. I knew Whit likes a white. Hey, I was like, you know, this is it.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect wind down wine. That's a wine that you easily can eat with pasta, or at the end of the night if you're just eating popcorn and watching a movie. Like, it's a very simple, to the point, no frills type of wine. It's good. I like it. I think it's a good everyday wine. It reminds me of my $5 bottle from Target. Y'all know I love my California roots. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But it reminds me of that.
Okay.
What you think?
Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out, honey. Okay. It was pretty good. It's like super smooth. It is definitely buttery though. It definitely is buttery. But it's a really good wine. I could actually see this going great with some white sauce, pasta.
Some Alfredo.
Oh my God. It would be so good. Like, but yeah, I can definitely see how this is a very chill wine. And it doesn't feel too heavy. That is the thing that I guess I do like about Pinot Grigio is even though it gives you that little zest, but at the same time it doesn't feel heavy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a red wine would, which of course it's what I like, red wines. But this is a really good wine.
Yeah. Okay, you made a good pick, girl.
Yeah, it's pretty good, guys. I would definitely check that one out.
All right, so if you're on a budget, 3 Blocks got you. 3 Blocks got you taken care of. I bet you have other brands too. I mean, other blends. Like I bet you they have reds and a Moscato.
Yeah, I'm curious. And I've seen the Pinot Grigio before. I've seen it on the show, but I just haven't gotten to it yet because I tried not to go too cheap sometimes. But I mean, for that one to be especially $8.99, it's a solid choice. Yeah,
cannot beat it.
Okay, guys, and what's next is our treat of the week. treat of the week, y'all. So the treat of the week is actually the luxury that we indulged in for the week. And we don't put any type of parameters on what luxury really is, to us, or what luxury looks like for you. So we're going to go ahead and share what was your treat of the week.
All right, it's been a while since I had. Well, I guess last time I had my bed, but this is my first. It's been a while since I had like a expensive Luxe treat of the week. But my mom's 50th birthday is coming up. It's next Friday, and it's a huge deal. Girl, she's doing this huge party. I'm telling y'all because this episode she'll have it like her gift by the time it's out. Aww. But my sister and I, so it's 2 parts. So we are building a phone booth for her party. So basically we found this company, girl, that would like mail out these retro phones. It's called After the Tone. And they'll mail out the phone, and all night your guests can stop at the phone booth and basically like leave a voicemail, right? Like, hey girl, happy birthday. We was just telling, whatever. And then afterwards she'll get a recording like with all of the voicemails that all the people that came to her party left and stuff like that. So
I love that.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that. And then we are getting her a Pandora, like this is a 3-part gift, so I spent money on all of this, which is why it's my treat of the week. But then also we're getting her a Pandora bracelet as a family. So my nana bought the bracelet, and then we're all gonna get chains a charm that represents something about our relationship with her. So the Pandora charm, and then I got her some Gucci earrings, super cute. These drop down, yes ma'am, drop down. Like they're gold, they have like the double G's, they drop down, they're very super cute, super classy. Yeah, they're not long. My mom's not into like big earrings at all, but they're just super chic. They maybe are that long.
Okay.
But I hope she likes them. I actually need to go pick them up from the FedEx store because I missed the delivery yesterday, which I don't understand because I was at the house, so make it make sense.
You know what? That just really happened to someone else that I knew that was waiting on a FedEx box, and they were like, yeah, well, they left a knock attempted or delivery attempted, and he was like, I'm literally right here waiting. No one came.
No, my desk is literally sitting next. So in my window, in my living room, I have a huge window that takes up the entire wall of my living room. And I'm looking at the FedEx truck, and then I get a text like, sorry, we missed your delivery. I go outside. There's no sticker. You know how they normally do like a sticky on the door? But anytime you order like designer, anything that's high value, they make you sign for it for the most part. Yeah. So I was just like, whatever. But they sent me a text and said it's at the FedEx store. So I need to go and get that probably when I leave here, actually. But that was my treat of the week. Little Gucci, little Pandora, little After the Tone. And I hope my mom loves it. Happy birthday, mama. We love you.
Yes, I love it. I love that for your mom. And I love a good sentimental gift, but also at the same time, something that you spend money on. Yeah. Like to really show that person, like, you mean the most to me in every way.
Oh,
like, in a sentimental way, but also you mean enough for me to, spend some money on you.
Yeah, my mom gifts is her love language all day. And she loves designer. She loves Louis Vuitton. She loves literally anything, Prada, like whatever she can, she just loves it. Like, especially since she... Like in this stage of her life, especially she empty nesting, girl, most of her money is hers. She be, so we had to come hard. So we went designer, and I think my sister got her some Louis. She went up to North Park and got her some sunglasses. Girl, so but it's her 50th birthday, so it's like Lord. So, but yeah, that was it. But what about you? What was your treat of the week? I know you had some family birthdays all last week.
Yes. Oh my God. So that was definitely a treat of the week. I actually don't know if I told you guys about me going back home to visit.
You did. It was your treat of the week.
Okay, that was my treat. Okay, so now I can't use that again. But so yeah, that was definitely a treat. It was such a treat that I thought about it again. But this week, actually, in conjunction with that, I recently purchased some sunglasses, some designer sunglasses, which for me, I was just so focused on like getting, the designer bags that I really was like, okay, designer shades, like that's another undertaking that I'm not ready to step into yet. Just because again, I wanted to make sure I stayed on pace and on track financially, but I was able to finally open up that box. And it opened.
What did you get? I love my Bottegas. Yes. I still wear those every time.
And those are so fire. Like those are so just fire, chic, beautiful. Yes. So you're welcome. I had actually got some Givenchy
Okay.
shades. Now those are more sporty. They're definitely, even the material of them, they're definitely more sporty. But
Okay.
I love them. They're bold. They're black and white, and they're like a matte. I don't even know what the material
I
would
feel like
be.
you posted these.
I did post them.
Or you put them on your story or something.
I put them on my
I
story.
saw them. Okay.
Yes. So, but those, and then they just have, so they're, the majority of the frame is black, and then the top part is like white, and then on the sides they have a white side, and then they have Givenchy written in black. So it's like a statement, frame. So I really love those. Super chic. But they're definitely edgy chic. And then I got some Gucci glasses. Well, I brought my sister a pair for her birthday. And then, so I got myself a pair.
One for me, one for you.
One for me, baby. When you win, I win. Because we got our little YSL bags together. So I was like, okay, let's get some designer shades together. So I got us a pair. And that's just like me and my sister thing. We like to twin. It's so funny. We used to hate when people, like when we didn't used to hate it. No, we did. We got to the point where we started hating our mom, like dressing us like twins, because people would always ask, but I was the oldest one. And the funny
y'all
thing,
do look just alike though.
We do. The only thing with people are like, the only thing that's different is the skin tone. Like literally, because my sister's like caramel, and I'm like, so we used to hate it. Like after a while, we started hating it. It was like, all right, now, Ma, you going a little too far. But the funny thing is, right? But the funny thing is, now we like to have stuff alike. We just like it to be like slightly different, and that's like perfect for us.
That's super.
Because it's like us, we're the same, but we're different.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so that was it. That was definitely Tree of the Week. So I wore those, and I was back in St. Louis with the family, kicking it, which was the real treat. But I definitely posted those shades on my story, and they are on my little highlights or whatever. I should have posted them on the Luxe Hour.
Super cute. I am. You could have.
I should have. Well, here we are.
Here we are. So, Whitney, thank y'all for tuning in to the Black Men State of the Union. It was actually our second most popular episode. It was. I think it was right after the Black Mother Wound.
Was it? I didn't even know the Black Mother Wound would be the most popular.
It was high up there, yeah.
That's crazy.
Because for a while that one was number 2. I need to take a look and see, but it was super popular.
Was this across all platforms or just YouTube?
Across all platforms. Actually, instead of YouTube, so all audio platforms.
Okay.
I don't know the YouTube numbers.
Okay.
I don't know the YouTube numbers.
Yeah, I saw, like, as far as views, I mean, it got some, for what we typically trend to view on YouTube, it got up there pretty fast.
That's good.
But, well, I'm just saying the numbers went up faster than usual.
Well, y'all know we're not biased here at the Luxe Hour Podcast. So today marks the start of the Black Woman's State of the Union.
Yes.
Last week, if you have not tuned in, over the last 2 weeks, we have been talking through, we first went through these 5 buckets of Black men, right? So we went through the broken-minded guys. These are your guys who peaked in high school, who have a flawed internalized view of Blackness, who are often raised by single mothers, carry a warped view of the role of women. Really that Russell Wilson versus Future, the men who say that you should have chose Future.
Yes.
After that were the good guys. In this bucket, these were guys who try to do right, but they're led astray by their desires. They often choose poorly to fill that masculinity void. And they often resort to bitterness over a self-proclaimed niceness. Then there was the sideliners. These are going to be your Kevin Samuels and family black male YouTube gurus. They never really actually hold weight in real life. They use years of sideline experience to coach others. They often do not live in reality and attract niche audiences. Then you got your toxic boys. These are the babies and blue faces of the world who refuse to grow up, who lead women absolutely nowhere and have no concept of respect for others. And finally, the abandoners. These are Black men who seek acceptance outside of the Black community, who often deal with internalized racism, and they carry bitterness over their personal Black experience. Yeah. So those were the buckets that we found for Black men. But we got 5 new buckets for Black women, because for each bucket of Black men, there is a comparable Black woman.
Yes, it is.
Woman in general, right? We're Black, so we speak from the Black experience, and we orient our podcast towards Black women. But understand that these categories really expand across. There's men in all races in every bucket. And
correct.
There will be for women. So without further ado, the counterpart of the broken-minded man is the grown girl. This woman is typically quite immature. She tends to be shallow-minded and selfish. She leverages her appearance to meet the needs to meet her needs with little regard for the well-being of her partner. She's often spoiled and demanding, taking on childlike traits in relationships. These are often the women who men find themselves in nitpicky fights for respect. I don't know.
I would say for respect. For sure.
These are women who are used to leveraging their appearance to get their needs met. And honestly really approach life through the lens of like a very spoiled, childlike perspective.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything to add like on these types of girls, or
I think
we didn't come up with examples.
I think with these type of girls, and to be fair, I think the perfect example when I think of grown girls, unfortunately I think of a lot of Instagram influencers. I think of your Instagram models or your women who their entire personality is based upon, well, I'm pretty and I want to be Cinderella. It's like they're kind of caught in this Disney world of, well, I deserve to be treated like a princess. I deserve to be treated like a queen, but from that very immature state. It's like from the mind of like a 5-year-old. Well, I should have what I want. And I don't really care how he feels. I should have what I want. But that's not how the world works. So I think great examples of these type of women are going to be your Instagram models, your Instagram influencers, your real life models, women who are, typically those are your 10 out of 10 women in society's eyes. And they feel like beauty should afford them every easy path and every path that leads them directly to what exactly it is that they want, which is typically very shallow.
Because often they haven't had to cultivate the traits and skills that truly bring a woman from princess to queen, right? Like the skills that bring a woman from her preteen, everything's about me, please spoil me, give me. There's a point in all women's lives, right, where they kind of bloom out of that, where they blossom out of that, where they realize that other people's needs are important and they have to balance their needs, and that they can't go through life wholly dependent on using their appearance to get the things that they want, right? So they cultivate other skills. These women don't do that. Ironically enough, though, these are the women that most often men pursue, and then they bucket all women into this category, right? So they say, oh, women are childish and all they like to do is argue, and they just want to spend your money, and they don't, if you lose your money, they'll leave you. Like, these are being that they're the Instagram influencers, typically the girls who are on camera because they are pretty, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're on camera, they bring in the lust of men bite down like a Venus flytrap, and that's it.
They're literally in their DMs talking to themselves. But then again, it's like, also I will say, of course, these women, they perpetuate this, but are these men creating these? Helping to create these monsters. Because at the same time, it's crazy, because if these are your Instagram models, which typically fall into this category, but then again, you have men beating down their DMs. I mean, literally men living in their DMs every day. Oh my God, let me just take you on a date. Let me do this sexual expletive to you.
And they say this. They air them out. Like, these women are screenshotting them. They laughing at you. They like, oh, JK. They're telling their boyfriends, miss one, next 15 will come. If you mess up, you drop the ball, you don't give me what I want, I will go into my DMs and I'll throw my line out there and I'll just pick one. Like, so
I think that's the really interesting part. Jesus. And it's funny because I saw actually this TikTok from this other girl. I don't remember her TikTok name. But I saw it was actually a young girl. I'm sorry. Because I think she's funny. She was so cute. She was entertaining. But she was just saying, she was like, a lot of these people stop praising these celebrities and stop praising these Instagram models, because why are they popular in the first place? Like, she said something else. But what she ended up saying, the main point that I'm trying to make here from that TikTok is, she was saying they don't have any talents. They don't have any skills, but they are pretty. And so that's what gets them the place, because they could literally make a reel and just sit there and look at the camera, and guys are going to flock. So at the same time, to be fair, these women aren't forced they're enabled by society to be grown girls. They're enabled to be spoiled brats.
And they grow up to be terrible mothers, terrible partners. A lot of them struggle with borderline narcissism, right? Because the world truly revolves around them in their minds. And to your point, it's not like they're making it up. Like these people are consciously doing that. Even when you look at like, and this is, I think, the danger of teaching women to root their value in their appearance, because even when you look at like babies, right? People say things about babies like, oh, she's gonna be a heartbreaker when she gets older, or she's just gonna be so pretty, and it's like, she's literally 4 months old, and so I'm not really thinking. But I mean, I think it's truly ingrained into pretty women from the time that they are born, and it's a lot of women who fall into this category really consider it a burden, right? Women who fall into this category but move into other categories, as we'll talk about, who say, there's more to me than just my looks, right? Like there's more to who I am as a person. They don't fall into this category. These are the women who say there doesn't need to be more to me. This is all that I need.
Look at me.
This is all
I'm
that
the
I
main
need.
attraction.
Yeah, and it's and they unfortunately just remain in a very frozen. It's like they're frozen, just like the broken-minded men. They're frozen in a time period in life where popularity is king. Yeah, but it still works that way for women because of Instagram.
Because like Mean Girls is very real. It's so crazy. I think another thing that I saw another like young lady speak out about, I don't know if it was like on Instagram or if it was on TikTok, whatever. Maybe it was on TikTok. And it was just a girl saying how like, that's sad how y'all are 25 plus still trying to be mean girls, either because y'all have always been mean girls your entire life, or you didn't get to be a mean girl back then, so now you want to be one. Yeah. You know, because maybe you've blossomed into your looks. In this category. You know, like, but it's just like, it's sad. You have a lot of women who are still going based off of looks and popularity.
And competition with other women. They choose their friends based off of very shallow traits. It's, oh my goodness.
To me, that's so disgusting. And I think the even more disgusting part is you have a lot of women out there that are upset because they haven't been chosen by prettier friends. It was this one girl, literally, she deleted her TikTok, y'all, because she literally, I have to talk about this. Okay. This woman was clearly at least 32, 33. Okay. She was a black woman. Well, she looked kind of biracial. I don't know. She was black. But she started off her video saying, I wish I had more baddie friends. And she went on to say in this video, well, yeah, you know, my friends, basically, they're just, in other words, she was calling them desperate. And she was saying, well, you know, some of them are kind of pretty, but I just wish they looked more aesthetically like me. And I wish they just kind of, you know, had more options to choose from. I just want more baddie friends that understand and that can be on the same thing, that have options to pick from. And they don't have to deal with bums, ugly men, and so forth. So essentially, she was just saying that I'm superior looking.
But what she saying?
More than anything else. Yes. I'm superior looking to my friends, and I wish that I had friends that were aesthetically like me so that we could go do baddie things together.
But then the gag is that she'll get friends like that, and they'll be constantly envious, jealous, and in constant competition of each other. They will have no real bond. It will always be just a tit for tat. Who can, because God bless.
God bless. And the funny thing was, and it's just like, usually I'm just quiet and I'll let people live. And I was just, when I saw that, I was just like, you know, this is just wrong on so many levels, you know. And I mean, the real gag was, never mind, I'm not even gonna say it, but either way, I'll say, but the funny thing was, the real gag was a lot of women, like, I don't know if she thought she was, you know, Halle Berry or like Kelly Rowland or freaking Beyonce. I don't know if she thought she was like a 10 out of 10, you know. I'm not here to judge, but she wasn't that, you know. So, and that's what a lot of women were saying, and they were just saying it's so unfortunate because I think that speaks to the mindset of a grown girl. They have this inflated image of themselves, this superior minded view of themselves. Like, it's an extreme narcissism to where it gets delusional. Like, it downright gets delusional. Like, I don't mean to be rude. I wish I could show the video, but she deleted her TikTok. The people were slamming her. It just went crazy so quick. Like, so look, this is like one of the first things I saw. I recently got on TikTok, so y'all hear me talking about TikTok.
What's plug yourself? What's your ad name?
Thinker Hustler.
Period. No, Queen is for Instagram.
Yes, it was too long. So for for the TikTok. But yes, thinker hustler. But I think that speaks to this category of women. I think a lot of it is just also delusion. They're stuck in that delusion.
Sheer immaturity, truly just frozen
in time.
Yeah,
like you said,
frozen in time. On the exact opposite end of the spectrum are the more timeless, your Aisha Currys, your Michelle Obamas.
Yes.
This category we have deemed, of course, to match the good guys, the good girls. Yeah. These are women who embody traditional feminine ideals and traits. They desire to submit to a man and will compromise to do so. And they often end up on the short end of the stick. So when I think about good girls, I think about women who have so much to offer, right? In terms of their personal skill set, in terms of their professional skill set, in terms of soft skills, tangible skills, monetary generating skills. But they want to be a wife and a mom, right? And because of that, they understand that they have to fall into a more feminine, a more traditional version of themselves. Yeah. Because of their willingness to submit, they often submit to the wrong man. And they end up on the short end of the stick because of it. These are women who get drained out, unfortunately, sometimes. These are women who sometimes err on the side of naivety.
Yes.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah, but have so much to offer. Who desire to be rooted, grounded, but often have like harsh wake-up calls when they get into the dating world. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like when good girls start dating, they have some harsh wake-up calls.
I think the biggest one for a lot of good girls, and again, a lot of that is just being green, being naive. Yeah. I think
truly wanting to believe the best.
They see, yes, yeah. They see, it's like they see every man they meet as an opportunity to be loved and to love. And they believe that they could love him into being a better person, being the person that they need, into being a good man. Yeah. And I think that that's where a lot of time these good girls fail, is because of their desire to see the world through, this Disney mindset. What they end up doing is they end up putting themselves in a position to be manipulated, to be used and abused and taken for granted. Yeah. With the wrong type of guys, because they think that they can love you just like the good guy. They think they can love their Jada hard enough that finally he will see that this is a good woman and I want to be a better man for her.
These are truly your I'ma stick beside them. You said something interesting. You said that they are also stuck and captivated within that Disney fairy tale paradigm. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's so interesting, because where the grown girls or the mean girls are fixated on being the princess, I think the good girls are fixated on having a Prince Charming. Yes, you know what I mean? Exactly. And it's the same fairy tale.
So it's like it's Cinderella. So yeah. I feel like this Disney character is more Cinderella versus the good girls being
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty. Absolutely. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. We know Cinderella had things to offer. Aurora,
she was laying there.
My girl was just asleep most of the movie. She was really
asleep.
The dress was fire though, sis. You knew what she was doing with that thing.
Absolutely. And I think that's just a part for, these women. It's like, okay, they think because I'm a good person, then this guy, he sees me and he must be a good person as well. Yeah. And he's going to see me, essentially, he's going to see me working. He's going to see me doing all these things to level myself up, to be the best woman. He's going to see the way I carry myself. He's going to see my integrity. He's going to see my work ethic. And he is going to get a glass slipper that fits my foot. Yeah. What's interesting about this category, too, is good girls are arguably the most versatile, because they kind of fall all across the spectrum, right? You have good girls on the side of things where they are like, lifelong ride or die baby mama hood chicks, like drop you off in their car, let you drop them off at work and take a car. Cause look, you know what I'm saying? And then you got some that are like at the top of the corporate ladder, money makers who are dating bums, who are like trying to shrink themselves down as much as possible to get a man, right? So I think can we go more? Let's go more into depth on the women that do fall into the good girl category, that are having to shrink out of, you know what, I can't find a guy that's on my level, but I'm such a good woman, I just want to be a helpmate, so let me help pull this man from the bottom. Oh, that's story of my life.
What you want, personal experience?
I just said let's talk about it, sis. But if you want to go into it, walk us through it. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts if you're saying that is where you are? What are your thoughts on that space? Like pros and cons.
It's a hard space for a woman to be in, to desire, to love a man, to build a home, to support a marriage, right? But to be incredibly capable, gifted, talented, sufficient on your own, right? Because I think there's nothing wrong with wanting your equal or a partner, right? But there are some women who bring so much to the table. And by no means am I saying like, oh, I just bring so much to the table that it's hard to find a man. But what I am saying is that I saw a clip on Instagram, and we should link it in the show notes, but it was on Black Marriage Movement page, and the lady was talking about, she was talking about basically how difficult it is for Black women to find, by the time you filter out, right, through the demographics of them being eligible, them being heterosexual, them being financially stable, if a woman just wants her equal, right, she can get to a place where there aren't many Black men in that space, right? And so women in this category who desire that, they have a choice to make. Either you can shrink down and choose a man that is available and suitable, right? Or you can maintain your needs, right? And say, my needs are not unrealistic. It's not like I'm asking for crazy list of things, right? I'm asking for a general partnership, just somebody on my level, and you'll either find it or you won't. So you make that choice, right? Or you make a neutral decision to, I don't know,
to just get as comfortable where you are until that man comes. And just because there are good women that are doing that too. Yeah, that's the gag. Because I'm older than Whit, so I'm 30, and it's crazy because I guess when I was younger, I thought, 30 was a lot older, at the time. And it was just like, back in the day, it was like, oh, you're 30? You're not married with no kids? You're a spinster. You know what I mean? That's what they used to call them. A spinster, a woman who's never having kids and never getting married, and she's going to be alone and die alone.
I listened to a podcast where they called them thornbacks. And they was like, the episode was titled, I Don't Want to Be a Thornback or something like that. Right. And they was talking about, like, it's basically women who are 30 plus and still single. They like to turn to a thornback. So
yeah. And
I always think about that.
That's so funny. Thornback. Now I'm going to look it up. But I think that it's crazy because I never saw myself in that space. Even though I was never a woman that was like gung-ho for relationships or marriage. Honestly, I didn't really start even desiring it until I was 25. Right. Or desiring a relationship. But the crazy thing is, now I look around and I see so many women in general, but specifically in this category, good girls that are also single, and they fall into those different buckets you're talking about, like, again, because they are great catches in a lot of ways. And to I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. A lot of women that fall into this particular category of good girls that we're talking about are women who are high earners themselves. Yeah. Women who make, by no means am I saying that I bring home $1 million a year, but I make more than $50,000-$60,000 a year too, right? Exactly. And typically women who are high earners, whether it be through their own business pursuits, whether it be through their corporate ambitions, they want the same, right? And not even from, and for me, this is what it always is for me. It's not even from a financial perspective. It's from a mental, I want a mental match, right? It's a holistic match.
I don't really want, it's a tricky thing to be smarter than most people, but not want a man that you have to lead. Does that make sense? Because then you have to rely on finding a man who's one up from you. And it's like, I think a lot of women fall into that category. And I think it's connected to the high earning, right? Because although, albeit book smart, right, or books intelligence that ties to high earning, I think it still just puts them in an awkward position where they have to choose, okay, do I compromise or do I wait it out and hope for the best?
Yeah. And then a lot of that too is, I think we also have to factor in women who are more educated, who have carried or, who have obtained more accomplishments, more skill sets, more knowledge. Typically, you're operating in a role or in a space in which you have to put that intellect to work. And then also you become a high earner, but you also cannot do that and be uber feminine at the same time, especially if you're in corporate, or especially if you're competitively, in the entrepreneurial field. So that a lot of that masculine energy, unfortunately, that can bleed over, because on one end, it's like a lot of women are forced into that space because we don't have men that are able, to take care of us, or that are willing. And a lot of times they're simply not able. It's not that they're not willing. Most men desire to do that.
Yeah, because for me, it's like, even if you say, because these women, once you have as a woman, right, and once you make a certain amount of money for yourself, you be like, listen, I'm good, right? But if you want a companion, right, maybe we were talking about this earlier, like, I very much so want a best friend and partner in one, and that is the most important thing to me. And so even if you take money off the table completely, because it's like, okay, fine, let's say the man make $45K a year, right? Is he at least going to be a mental match? And I think for me, it's more so wanting somebody who is a true mental match.
And let's be honest, typically,
because otherwise you're not even good companionship. It's not a companion. It's not even a companion. It's somebody who's having to teach constantly and lead constantly. And although the role of a woman, right, is to teach and nurture a household, that's a very different thing than having to lead, re-raise, and re-educate a man.
And reparent.
Those are very different. And that is very exhausting. And it feels like, baby, listen,
I don't need to do this.
I'll be at my house. Let me know if we find one that, but Lord knows I try. And a lot of good girls like me, right? Like, and I feel like, honestly, I fall somewhere between this category and the last one that we're going to get to. I don't feel like I fully fall into the good girls category, and I'll explain that when we get there. But I think another thing for good girls, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, we always get caught up with men who have potential, right? Like these are your women who be like, he has potential. I just see something in him that he don't see in himself. I want to help him become the best version of himself, right? And so these women are oftentimes magnets for men who cannot get it together. And for me personally, I'm not a potential driven woman, but I am fun driven, right? So potential really, we all got potential. But if you are fun, if you mentally spar right well with us, and we have good conversation, and you're funny, and like I really always get caught up with the fun. I always have to bring myself back to be like, yes, Whitney, but he doesn't have anything to offer you. He doesn't have anything. This is very fun, and you really like him. He doesn't have anything to offer you.
Because it'll be fun for a minute, but then ultimately, when it comes to partnership and companionship, and this is why Alicia has been saying from the beginning of time that marriage is a business. It is not about romance and rainbows. I don't care what you say. Romance without finance is a nuisance. And I remember my mom and my dad alike told me the exact same thing since day one. Okay? And I think that the reality of it is, like you said, the reality of this category is a lot of these women are typically high earners. And so the problem that they have is that they are holistically looking for a match, but typically either a little bit too naive, or a little bit too compromising, a little bit too caught up on potential, or honestly, sometimes the women in this category can get desperate because of those experiences. They can genuinely become desperate to where they say, well, Lord, I'll take anything. Please give me the cutty buddy, give me the man that got 2 other women, because I'm a good woman and I deserve to have a man. I just want a man. And I think this category is where women really get desperate. To be fair, I think this is where we really get desperate. And that's just so unfortunate, because I think, first of all, we must understand the dynamic and the ramifications of the situation that we're in, and then say, okay, what are realistically my different paths here, and what would work best for me? Because I feel like a lot of women in this category, which I fall more into this category for, different reasons, and I fall into, a little bit another category. But I think that because you know, a lot of women, they just get to the point to where they're like, okay, I'm doing everything that I can. And we just start batting at the air, and you just start trying everything.
Yeah.
And it turns into desperation. It can.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's just real tea. It does. Like, I think if it doesn't, then that's because you are probably similar to me, where you are a little bit more in tune with your masculinity. And if you do, then you shift to, well, your pride don't really allow you to shift into desperation, right? So then you fall into the, all right, well, I guess it ain't the cards. Yeah, you know, and which is, we'll talk about that last bucket. But you do, right? If you, women who lack connection to their masculinity and are good girls typically fall into that desperation phase because they still feel like, okay, at the end of the day, I need a man, right? Like, at the end of the day, I don't feel like that. At the end of the day, I want one, but if I have to come to peace with not having one. But there are very much so, you know what I mean? Women that are like, no, I need a man. Like, it's not optional. And I understand both. I understand both.
And it's like, here's the real tea, no shade.
Real tea, no shade.
Like my sis say. But real tea, no shade. I think that I would say, as for me, I very much so desire to be in a happy, healthy marriage and, you know, union with someone.
Yeah.
However, at the end of the day, it is my prayer to God, to the Lord, okay, that if that means that I am not going to holistically be well and be able to holistically partner with another human being and build together, meaning that if he's not somewhere, you know, in the ballpark of on my level in different capacities and we're just not compatible, then Lord, teach me how to live without one.
Yeah, because I say all the time, like, it's not at any cost. And this is something that women do not understand.
Not at any cost.
I understand. I feel like I want to right the wrongs that were done in my family so badly. Like, that some days all I can think about is raising a family of my own, right? Of being a wife and being a mother, but not at any cost. Yeah. And while I may get caught up for the fun of things, all of that being dragged through the mud behind potential, baby. Because it's not at any cost, and women have to get that into their spirit. That, like, yes, I want this thing, but there are limits to what would make it even valuable, right? Once you start drifting into certain forms of relationship, they're not even of value to you anymore. Once you're the other woman, and
it should have a limit.
Your desire should have a limit.
That is what, more specifically, your desires need to have a limit. And I think that's the part where we're lacking. Always agree. Same statement. Not at any cost. I agree, and I do live and die by that. Not at any cost. We want these things. Absolutely. Am I, in like the good girl category, am I willing to compromise it in a sense of becoming the best, softer, feminine version of myself in order to get it? Yes. But I'm not willing to compromise who I am or what I need out of a partnership in order to do it. Because why would I go into a partnership that is technically 50-50 in the eyes of the government if I'm giving 70% and you're bringing 30? Why would I do that? It's almost
like you're willing to sacrifice to get it, but not to have it. And I think that's key. Because, like, if you're willing to sacrifice to get it, then that means I'm willing to become the woman that I need to become to attract the man that I want, right? Yeah. But if you're sacrificing to have it, that means that I'm willing to release the things that I need so that I can have a man in general. And that's a very different. That's the desperation. If you're willing to sacrifice to have it, like, just so that I can have it, I'm willing to shed off things that I need. That's very different than I'm willing to shed layers of myself to become the best version of myself so that I can get what it is that I'm looking for.
And the thing is, I think that it's funny because we were kind of talking about something else, but I think that a lot of women get that confused with desperation. We should all strive to be the best version of ourselves, just like with our men. They decide they should strive to be the best version of themselves. It doesn't mean that they're a simp or a sucker, or for us it doesn't mean that you're just completely changing, you're just so you can get a man or just so you can keep a man. No, but there is such a thing as trying to be the best version of yourself in any way. And I think we should all strive to do that. But of course, there are limits to all of these things. So, you know, no one is saying change who you are, but we're saying refine yourself. You should be looking to refine yourself every day in every way possible. Yep. You know, anyway.
And the most vocal opponent to this thought process is the companion of the sideliners, the loudmouths. So the loudmouths are women who fall into a category of being fed up and vocal about it. They blast men every chance that they get. They encourage other women to act in ways that place their needs over their partners. They have taken their pain and dedicated themselves to making somebody pay. Ooh. These are your F these in type of women.
Yes,
like these, they are proud about it, loud about it, and running through the Twitter streets waving their flag about it. Like they are done. I think a lot of these women at one point were in the previous category. Right? A lot of these women start out as good girls.
I agree.
And because, like we said with the good girls category, because it spans over so many different types of women, I think women come to different places of resolution when they don't get what they're looking for, right? Out of being, when women start to feel like I'm not getting any, there's no reward for being a good girl, right? Women that start to feel like that, they go in all types of different directions.
Actually, the next three categories.
The next three categories. You can truly, because there's really only three ways to reason it, right? You either say, well, I'm going to just make sure making my business to tear these men apart, right? Which are the loud mouths. Then you can say, I'm making my business to get what I need to get and go, which will be the next category.
Yes.
Or you can say, forget them all together, baby. I'll give me a puppy and call it a day. And that's that last category that I probably sliding into. But the loudmouths themselves, these are your women who are sick of y'all and proud of it. Okay, like they are, and they drag. These are women who drag.
Oh my God.
Other women who, especially women who fall into this good girls category, they love saying these pick me's.
Yes.
You pick me's.
Oh my God.
Like, my goodness, what you have a personal experience. You want to tell people about it?
Yes. Okay, so like I told you guys, I just got on the TikTok, okay? So just got on TikTok. Again, Thinker Hustler. That's my ad. So I did this video. First of all, I had like 50 followers, okay? Because I just got on TikTok. I hadn't dedicated a lot of time. And so I was like, of course, this podcast spawned from Whitney and I's collective journey to, hey, let's level up, let's become more, the more softer, feminine versions of ourselves, the most refined versions of ourselves, the more successful version of ourselves, right? So on that journey, I've been on, a part of that journey has been my feminine journey, right? Yeah. So I just posted a video. I was sitting there recording some content. I said, you know what? It'll be really powerful if, I just got on here and I shared some of my tidbits on how to rest in your femininity. I literally had no idea that this video would get any type of traction. I had 50 followers. Okay? So I was like, but I'm gonna post it because I stand on these things. And so, anyway, I was like, okay. So Amaretta, shout out to the girl Amaretta, sis got bars. Okay,
come on. Retta the Great, after she called herself, I'm Retta the Great.
Yes, the Great, yes. Love her. So she's from Atlanta, so she got this song called out, I don't know what the song is called.
I think it's called It's Not Atlanta.
It's Not Atlanta. So basically she was just saying all these different parts that are on the outskirts of Atlanta. Baby, you're on the outside, Hayden, you can't even get in. That's not Atlanta. So she was calling out Gwinnett, Lithonia, all these different places. And so, and it was a popular sound. So I was like, okay, I'm going to use this and I want to teach people something about femininity, but I don't know what. And I said, well, I'm going to just share. So anyway, so I said, okay, stop doing these things while dating to rest in your femininity. So on the video, as she was saying, this is not Atlanta, this is not Atlanta. So I put stop offering to pay or go Dutch. I put stop bragging on your accomplishments and your overall success. I put allow the man to suggest or order for you when you're in a restaurant. Stop refusing help when men offer to do different things for you. What else did I put? I put a few other things too. I just wanted like for the sake of that. Yeah, it's like 7 things. And honey, I woke up the next morning. It literally had. So my girl Tajay was actually the one that, so I saw she commented on something that was like her comment was like the first one I saw. Logging in TikTok, all I saw was like literally over hundreds of notifications. And I'm like, whoa, what just happened? Like, cause literally I never went like viral with anything or in any type of way. So I was like, what the heck? I was like, what are they talking about? I get on the video, it's like 24,000 views on it, and it's like over 100 comments. And honey, to this moment, this was like 2 weeks ago, and baby, they're still trying to drag me. Like mainly it's the women that fall into this category, which feminists happen to fall into this category. Honey, the comments were, it was lethal. I think the worst one was a woman. She said, so basically you're telling me that if he's beating me, I should just ask him what he wants for dinner. What? And
sis, the reach
it
was Superman level.
It was just you.
Like, very much so a reach.
Superman. Okay, sis went Soldier Boy on me. Okay?
I'm telling you, she almost
right. I know, right out the door. And then so it was another woman. She was like, so basically, you're telling women to shut up. And then another woman said, I'd rather be by myself. And then she had another one was like, imagine shrinking just so that you can impress a man. And then, oh my God, it was so many comments. And then another one was like, so it's masculine to talk about my accomplishments.
Is there merit to that? What do you think? Is it, when I look at it from just a sheer, like, you have to be smaller so that he feels bigger, is it shrinking to impress a man? Would you say that that's what it is, or would you, like, do you see it a different way?
The way that I see it, not that I don't understand, like, or can get where this woman is coming from, but the way that I see it, if I'm saying, hey, this is how you can rest in your femininity, I'm very particular with the words that I use, because my vocabulary is broad enough. Trust me. So if I say how to rest in your femininity, that's exactly what I mean. I use every word strategically. Yeah. So I'm telling women to stop doing these things so that you can rest in your femininity and enable him to better operate in his masculinity.
Gotcha. So you're not saying don't do these things. Doing these things makes you not a woman. You're saying this is how you can rest, relax, and put your feet up.
Correct. And so the merit in her statement, and according to my video, I'm like, oh my God, these girls are missing it. Because what I got, I'll take this your question in a different direction. What I got from a lot of these comments are, hit dogs hollering. And I think that in a lot of these cases, when they saw that video, as soon as they saw anything about dating, femininity, they were automatically triggered that. And you can tell there was an experience that was there, or a preconceived, notion or a negative connotation tied with these things, so where they thought, okay, she about to tell me to shrink myself, or okay, well, guys, when they talk about masculinity and femininity, typically it's coupled with misogyny, because that's what a lot of women were saying too. Well, okay, this is misogynistic. Okay, well, how? Because the literal definition of misogyny, come on, like that, this is a reach. But I think that where a lot of women feel, and where there is some merit to, is that in a lot of cases, for a lot of men who aren't truly masculine, they do tend to manipulate or try to manipulate women into shrinking so that they can feel more masculine. And so they do, like I said, I think there are a lot of guys, especially these podcasters, who manipulate women into saying, well, you're just not feminine enough, and that's why we're not as masculine as as we can be, because you emasculate us. Maybe if you toned it down a little bit, we could be more of the man and carry more of the load and lead more. So I think from that perspective, I can get that they're triggered in that way, and I'm acknowledging that happens. But I was saying the context of that video is like, okay, come on now. I think it was a reach, and I think that just it was a lot of hit dogs hollering. But I think that there's some merit to why they're hollering. Yeah, and that I will say.
Yeah, because I think you hit it on the nail on the head when you said they're angry. And I think I heard this perspective once that said women, so a lot of these YouTube podcasts, guru, expert men like to say things like, oh, women are the most marriageable between like 24 and 27 or 22 and 28, whatever that mid-20s range is. Now, the problem is they will also tell you that men are nowhere near ready to get married until they're 30 or over, right? Which means if men are not ready to get married until at least 30, and women are at their best between 22 and 28, that means that the entire time that these women are at their best, men are running through them, breaking their hearts, ruining their view of their womanhood and what it means to sacrifice and to love. And so by the time these men turn 30 and they say, okay, I'm ready to be a husband, these women are like, excuse my French, but they putting the middle fingers up.
And they're in the next category.
They're in the next, and now they're either loudmouths or city girls. City girls is our next category.